Okay, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our vision call. I really appreciate you taking the time tonight to be on here with me. I'm going to try to keep the call to about 30 minutes. That's my goal. Sometimes I get carried away. Sometimes we have questions that make the call go longer. So that's just setting it up that that's going to be my goal is 30 minutes, and we'll see how it goes from there. We will, like I said, there will be time at the end where we'll have some questions, and I really want to encourage you to ask those. So if you have any questions, just know that I won't be able to see or do anything until the end because I'm focusing on staying on track. Okay, so I've got my notes. So just know that I'll ask for questions at the end. So you might, if something comes up where you do have a question, you might just go ahead and make yourself a note so that when I call for questions, you can ask them. Okay, all right. So we are going to be doing, okay, I need everybody's video off, okay? So make sure your video is off. I'm going to go through and just turn off some that I see, but if you can just turn your video off, okay, I think we've got it. It's just a distraction, okay? So I would love to see all of your faces. That would make me happy. I wouldn't feel like I was talking to myself, but I've just found that it's a distraction if we do it that way, okay? Okay, turn off all the video. If you've got your video on, just make sure to turn that off. I thought I had it set to where when people popped on, their video wasn't there. Okay, so go ahead and turn off your video. I'm going to stop a few, but there's thankfully a lot of you all on here, so it's kind of hard to see. Here we go. Okay, there we go. I am going to share my screen with you all. I have the PowerPoint. All right. Okay, I'm guessing that you all can see that now. If somebody there's a chat. Let me see how I can look at the chat. There's so many things it's kind of hard for me to keep track, but here we go. If somebody can just type in the chat that you can see the PowerPoint, that would be helpful. All right, and make sure to turn off your video. I'm going to get to the point where I'm not going to be able to control video anymore. So if you've turned your video on, you can go ahead and turn that off. We want to not have any distractions here. I will call for some questions at the end. Okay, so make a note if you've got any questions as we're going on. So I think we're all set. All right. Again, welcome. Welcome. I am excited to talk about this because I get to tell you all a little bit about that story. Thank you all for telling me. You can see it. I see that. I'm going to turn the chat off just so you know, but that's where we're going to ask questions later. Okay, so if you don't know where the chat is, look for that. That's where I'll be calling for questions. But I get to tell you all a little bit about my story and then really inspire you to think about your 31 story and what you want that story to be about. Okay, so that's going to be the goal, is for you to think about your own story. And I'm going to help you do that by sharing mine with you, okay? So I hope you know that our conference theme this year is Dream Big, Shine Bright. And so that's what I really want you all to be doing as we're leading up to conference, is dreaming big and shining bright. Let your light shine. So tonight we're going to talk about vision and why is vision important. It's like, you know, it's like we're going on a road trip. Okay, we can get in the car and go on a road trip and say, let's go on a road trip, and get in the car, and then what are we going to do? We're just going to wander around. Maybe we are. We could wander aimlessly around, or we could have our plan, get in the car, and know exactly where we're going. Turn your video off, guys. I'm going to try to stop it. I think again. There we go. We can know exactly where we're going. And if we do, right, it makes it better, right? Because we're not just going to wander aimlessly around. And so our business can be like that too. We've got to know exactly where we're going. What do you want? And it's not for me to say, it's not for your leader to say. It's for you to say, for you to decide. And you know what, guys? The good news is that there is no wrong answer to this. Okay, so you get to decide what it is, and that's the right answer. Whatever your vision is for your business is going to be the right answer. So we're going to talk about what's possible first, and then we're going to talk about setting that vision. So Helen Keller said, what would be worse than being born blind is to have sight without vision. So that's what I'm going to ask you all to do tonight, is think about your vision for 31, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and what's possible with 31. But before I do, let me click one more slide. The slides help keep me on track, by the way. So I want everybody to remember that God's gift to me is my potential. So my potential is God's gift to me. What I do with that is my gift back to God. Okay, so remember that. You have your God-given potential. It's up to you to make the most of it. Okay, He's given it to you. What are you going to do with it? That's going to be the question, okay? All right, so when I first became a 31 consultant, it was back in 2008. Like, I still can't believe it's that long ago, but 2008, I became a consultant. And I went to a party, just like a lot of you maybe. I went to a 31 party, didn't go to the party thinking about becoming a consultant. I was just going because I needed some time away. My son had been very sick. And he'd been in the hospital for a very long time. I've got 3 children, just a lot of y'all don't know me, so I've got 3 grown children. My youngest son was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 11. Okay, so at 11 he was diagnosed with leukemia, and then at the age of 13 it returned. So in 2008 he was 13. And he had to have a bone marrow transplant. That bone marrow transplant was done with my middle son. I got a daughter and then 2 sons. My middle son, Dylan, was a bone marrow donor for my son, John. This isn't about that, but it kind of sets the premise for the story and lets you know where I am. And I go to this party because I'd spent a lot of time in the hospital. Okay, and guess what? I had a weight of medical debt on my shoulder. I didn't even know what it was at that point, but I had the weight of medical debt. So let's get back to, I'll stop sharing here. There it is. Here we are. The picture there with me and John is right before his bone marrow transplant. It was in, as you can see, it was in April of 2008. He actually had his transplant in May of 2008. And then look at that picture on the right. There he is. So I want y'all to know my story has a very happy ending. But the beginning of that in 2008 was the start of my 31 journey. And I started because we needed to pay some medical bills. Okay, so that's why I started, to bridge the gap. I had another job at the time. I don't anymore. I was able to quit that job. How many of you all have that dream or vision to be able to quit the current job that you have? I was able to do that. But back then, I was working. Okay, and we needed, my husband works too, obviously. He works for UPS, for those of you that don't know, but and I became a 31 consultant. So I want y'all to know I wasn't the typical rise to success story. Okay, my story was very slow. Somebody has their microphone on. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to turn your microphone off. I can't see everybody. But I can hear you. Dana, I need you to turn off your microphone, okay? Dana?
I'm here. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. There was just a bunch of feedback. I wasn't the rise to, the quick rise to success story. It actually took me a really long time, okay? So this was I actually became a consultant in August of 2008. So here I am in August, this is in April, but soon after that I became a consultant. And then I was selling, I was doing, I was doing your typical stuff, but I wasn't sponsoring. Okay, I wasn't sponsoring, and I really wasn't that good at anything else. I could do a party, but that was about it. So about a year later, it was almost a year later, it was time for conference. And back then we didn't have all the resources we have now. You all have a bunch of stuff, but back then we didn't have a lot, and I didn't really know a lot, and really, quite honestly, my upline didn't know a lot either. And so, we were just trying to figure our way through stuff. And then the opportunity came up for me to attend conference. Okay, so I was excited about that, although I was really, really scared. And I was scared because I didn't know anybody. Okay, I knew nobody. But I did know the potential of direct sales. I'm getting ready to share that with you if you don't know what the potential of direct sales is. But I did know there was potential in direct sales and that I wanted to be a part of it. I just didn't know how. I didn't know how, and I knew that conference would be the way for me to learn this, okay? But I had to be brave because I didn't know anybody. So I was going into an environment where I knew nobody. My sponsor was not going. My upline was going. My director was going to be there. And so I was lucky in that way. I sort of knew her. And so I went to conference. So here is a slide of me at my very first conference. There I am. Lynn Post and Cindy Monroe. So one of the benefits of going to conference is you get to see Cindy, and there I was back in 2009. I knew who she was, of course, but I didn't really know what this picture was going to represent. So this picture right here represents somebody who knew nothing about direct sales. Okay, she knew how to go and show the bags off and get some orders. Okay? I was doing okay with that. I wasn't blowing it out of the water or anything, but I did know how to go and get some orders, and that's what I was doing back then. But at that conference, everything changed. And the reason that it changed is because I went there and I looked around and I thought, oh my gosh, look at all these women. They really don't look any different than me. And quite honestly, I thought, oh my gosh, look how much money they're making. I think I can do this. They don't look any different than me. If she can do that, well, why can't I do it? Okay, remember, I still didn't know how, okay, but I did want to, okay, I did want to. So I came back from that conference. It was great, and I wouldn't say I didn't come back with a bunch of information. I did have some information, but it wasn't the magic key that I needed to all of a sudden explode my business and grow and sponsor. And that's what I wanted to do. Okay. I knew what my vision was. My vision was that I knew that in direct sales, I could make a lot of money, a substantial amount of money. And I hope that you all know that you can not only replace your full-time income, but you can double and triple it. Okay. I've tripled the income that I made when I started with 31. Okay. When I had that other job. And it wasn't, it wasn't the run-of-your-mill job. I was a college professor, okay? So I've tripled that. I knew that that was possible. I did know that that was possible, and I also knew that I wanted it. The only problem was I didn't know how to get it, okay? I didn't know how to get it, but I was willing to learn how to get it. Okay, I was willing to learn. So what I left that conference with was the vision that it was possible for me because they didn't look any different than me. They started the same as me. I hope, let me go back to sharing. I hope you can look at that picture of me and Cindy and go, okay, Lynn, I see you. You know, you don't look any different than me. You know, Lynn of 2009. Yeah, I think that's me. Okay, I hope that's what you're seeing, because that Lynn of 2009 and 2010 went back to conference with her team. This is my team at the next conference. I had 4 people attending. Okay, I had a much bigger team than that. I had 4 people attending. I also was a facilitator at that conference. 1 year later, I was teaching other women how to do what I did. Isn't that amazing? Who knew? I didn't know how to do it, but I learned how to do it. You can too, right? I hope that's what you're getting from this. Few years later, I spoke on the big stage to everybody at the conference. This was a girl who back in 2009 left the conference not even knowing how to really do the business. Okay, so I want you to know, if that's you, conference, I definitely can be the key, but learning is going to be the key, the willingness to learn. We're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. Okay, also what this, let me see where I am here. I'm going to lose track. So that was my vision of what I wanted. I wanted to make the substantial income for my family. I didn't really want to quit my job. I will say that that wasn't a goal of mine to quit my job. I liked it. I had a pretty easy job. Okay, I had an easy job where I made a lot of money, and I loved it. I was on a college campus and all of that stuff. But I wanted to make more money, and I wanted our family to be secure. We had a lot of medical debt to pay off still. Okay, it took us a long time. We did pay off that debt, but it took us a long time to do that. And so income was a big driver for me to grow my income and really to sort of get financial freedom. I like that phrase. Over the years, my why, okay, so hopefully you've heard about a why. We're going to talk about that in a minute too, but my why changed a lot. But really the root of my why is financial freedom and flexibility. Okay, I wanted financial freedom and flexibility. I didn't want to worry about the money, right? Like, I didn't want to have to worry about stuff. If I wanted to go have my fingernails done or go have my hair dyed or whatever, I wanted to be able to do it without worrying about the money. And so I've been able to do that. Okay, I've been able to not worry about the money anymore. This is my daughter, Katie. She was a Division I softball player, and she traveled around the country playing softball. And I wanted to be able to go watch her play. How cool is that? I didn't have to ask off. I didn't have to worry about the money to pay for the hotel or anything. I was able to just go travel with her and watch her play during 4 years of college. She actually went to 3 different schools. She started off at Western Kentucky University. That didn't last very long. She did not like it there. Then she went to a junior college in Tennessee for 2 years, and then she ended up on a full ride scholarship. Well, actually, the Ball State and Morehead State were both full rides, so that was really good. So, but I was able to travel with her, watch her, not worry about being off. My parents went with me. It was a really great time. We also love to travel. And so Donnie and I have been able to take some great vacations. One of our most memorable vacations was a couple of years ago. We took our entire family to an all-inclusive resort in Riviera Maya, Mexico. And we all swam with the dolphins. They still talk about that. We're repeating another family trip next January. We're going on a cruise. So they're really excited about that. So it's been 31's allowed me to have dream vacations. Whatever we wanted to do, we've been able to do. Donnie and I are going on a cruise ourselves in a couple of weeks. So vacations have now been a part of my vision for my business and what I want. So I want you all to know that I want you to dream big. Okay, we can think right now about what we want from our business, and maybe you need to bridge the gap like I did. Maybe you need to help pay the gas and electric bill and not have it shut off. I've been there. Okay, I've been there. Maybe you want to pay for your car payment so that it's not repossessed. Haven't been there. Maybe I've been close, but not repossessed. But maybe you want to be able to say yes to your kids more. Maybe your daughter wants to do everything under the sun, dance, soccer, softball, volleyball, and the money for all of that. Maybe you want that. So our vision starts with what we want to get from our business. Okay, what exactly are you looking for? And I really want you all to dream big about what is possible. Okay, because big things are possible with your business. Okay, back to sharing here. Okay, so a vision is a clear picture of what you see your business being or doing. So it's what you consider it being or doing. Maybe money is not a factor for you at all. You love to give your commission away. Maybe you love to do fundraisers and you want to be able to give back in that way. Maybe you want it to be a sisterhood for you that you never had. Maybe you want it to be able to make your husband or allow your husband to work less. Okay, maybe you both work, but he's working a lot of overtime and you want to do something to kind of help that. And all of that boils down into our why. Okay, why are you a 31 consultant? What made you become a 31 consultant? It's going to be really important that you spend some time thinking about this. And I've got some questions. Remember, I'm going to be sharing these slides with you afterwards. But you need to, first of all, create your vision. Okay, create your vision. And having a clear, compelling vision informs every choice you make. So I want you all to know that your vision should drive your choices. Okay, your vision should drive your choices because you are aware that every action you take, whether small or large, is either a step closer or a step further away from the life of your dreams. Every choice you make. If you haven't heard of Darren Hardy, he talks about choices and the compound effect of choices. That's a whole nother topic, but if you're interested in that, he's a good one to look up, Darren Hardy. But our choices can really bring us closer or further away from our vision. So I want you to think about these things. These are all things to think about. Again, I'm going to give you all this list. I don't feel you like you have to write it down. Why did I decide to join 31? What even made you become a 31 consultant? What made you say yes? At what point in building my 31 business will I truly feel successful? Okay, so that's what I want you all to think about. What does success look like for you? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you what success is because success is different for every single person. Okay, but it is really important that you know your definition of success. Okay, so figure out what is your definition of success. How will my children feel about me when I achieve this vision? How will my children feel? How will I feel having my children feel that way? Okay, that's a really big one. How will my children feel and how will I feel having my children feel this way when I achieve that dream? What about your significant other? How will they feel when you achieve this success? What will they say? Think about your husband. You're bridging that gap. He's not having to work as much. You're bringing home, I always think the husbands love the money. At least that's the way mine is, so maybe that's why I think that. But when I started bringing home $300, $500 a month, he was like, "Oh, okay, Lynn, I see you. I see you. I appreciate that. Maybe we can do this or do that or pay this bill off or whatever." So mine started paying attention. But how will he feel? How did that make? I know how it made my husband feel, but how will your husband feel? Okay, how will your significant other, maybe it's a boyfriend, how will he feel when you do that? Okay. Also, I want you to ask yourself, is there anybody in my past who didn't feel that I could build a successful business? Is there anybody? Maybe there's somebody right now who thinks you're crazy for doing what you do. And maybe I don't want them to think that. Maybe I really want to prove them wrong and I want to show them success. I had people like that in my life. They're still in my life. They're actually friends of mine. They're good friends of mine. But I remember when I started the business, they just thought I was crazy and just wasting my time doing this, okay? But I've since proven them wrong, okay? So maybe there's somebody in your life who doesn't believe it's going to work, and you're crazy for thinking it's going to work, okay? I'm going to tell you, you're not crazy. It does work if you do, okay? All right. I want you to think about if I had, this is a big one. Okay, now I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask you to think about this. So pay attention because I think it's important that we really kind of figure this one out. If I had more than enough income to meet all of my family's immediate needs, how would I feel? If I had more than enough income to meet all of my family's needs, how would I feel? I know how I felt, and it was a big like this. That's how I felt. 31 did that for me. It let me take a really deep breath and a sigh of relief. What would you do if you had any additional income? What would you do with that additional income that you had? Let's say you already have what you need, right? We don't all do this for the money. What would you do with that extra income? I want you to think about that. This is important. It's important for us to get our head right around this. I want you to ask yourself, why am I committed to making my 31 business a success? Why am I committed? Maybe you need to ask yourself, are you committed? I don't know. Are you committed? If it's not working, are you committed to figuring out why and making it a success? You need to ask yourself these tough questions. I hope you're committed, and I want you to ask yourself why. For me, I'll tell you, it was because I could see what was possible. I could see I wanted that. I was committed because I wanted to be able to pay out that medical debt. I wanted to wipe that away. I wanted to be able to have flexibility and financial freedom. I wanted that. Okay, that's why I was committed. You know, we can say, why do you sell 31? Well, I really need the income. Okay, what will that income do for you? You need to take it a little bit further than just that surface level. Okay, take it a little bit deeper. What's that going to do for you? Keep asking yourself questions until you really come down to, well, I really want to just be able to quit my full-time job and stay home with my baby because I'm tired of taking her to daycare. I want to be the one staying home with her every day. That's it. It's the money you need, right? But it's more than the money. It's what that money is going to do for you and what that money is going to do for your family. In whose life will I make a difference when I'm successful in my 31 business? In whose life will I make a difference when I'm successful? Whose life will, you know, it's kind of a crazy one, right? In whose life will I make a difference when I'm successful? I can tell you, I mean, I love pouring into all of you all. That I feel like I'm making a difference. I hope I am. You know, that fills my cup. I call that the paycheck of the heart. For me now, I love the money. The money is there. But I love the paycheck of the heart. I love helping other women get what they want from their business. Okay, that makes me feel good. So when that question for me, in whose life will I make a difference? I hope all of you is whose life I will make a difference. So let me get back to sharing here. All right. Okay. those were the last few questions that I asked. Okay, so again, I'm gonna give you this. So I'm gonna ask you to dream big. I'm gonna ask you to look at those questions that I'm gonna send you and think about them. Okay, this is something, it may take a while. You know, I'm not thinking you can just whip it up just like that. It may take a little bit for you to really figure out what's driving you. What do I want? Okay, what do I want for my business? Maybe it's to be a leader. Maybe you want to be a director so you can earn 10% more. Okay, maybe you want to be a director so you could earn 10% more. Okay, great. Why? Why do you want to earn 10% more? What is that going to do for you if you earn 10% more? What are you going to do with that money? I want you to really think about that. Then the next step after that is, how are you going to do it? Okay. Oh. So setting the vision is really just seeing what's out there and then figuring out what you want. And then the second part of that is, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? The how is the goals that you set for yourself. Okay, so knowing what you want is crucial. So I do not want to minimize that. Okay, so I want everybody to make sure that you've got to know what your vision is and what you want. Where are you going? Okay, where are you going? And what choices are you going to make? Because I'll tell you, back in 2009 when I came back from conference, I decided, I'd been a consultant a year already, and I was a senior consultant at that point. I think I had just promoted to senior consultant. So I wanted to promote to director. Okay, that when I came back from that conference, that was my vision. I wanted to promote to director. So every goal, every choice I made from that point forward, I sort of said, is this going to help me get to director or not? Is this going to help me get there or not? What's going to happen? And I made the choices that got me there. Okay, I went to conference back then I think it was in June, and I promoted in March. Not a short amount of time, but not a year. Okay, so the next year, I'd actually, I was promoted to director. That picture that I showed you with my 4 team members, I was a director with them at conference for the first time. All right, so think about what you want and then work hard to get there. And I always use the phrase of short-term pain, long-term gain. Okay, short-term pain, long-term gain. So that's always been my philosophy. It's always been true. So maybe my goal is to not work so much. Okay, I want to be able to stay home with my children. Okay, well, probably going to have to work a little bit more for a year or so. Short-term pain, long-term gain. I see the future. I know what's out there. I want that big money. Okay, I want the big money. You've got to be able to make the choices if you want that. Okay, again, it's not for me to tell you what you want. If you want to promote up to the next level, I loved your all's goals. Those of you, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Those of you all that responded to the survey, I loved that. I want to just read some out because I loved what you said, and I really want you to think about just one goal, and I want you to dream big. Okay, I want it to be a big goal for you. Maybe I don't have any parties scheduled. I haven't sold anything this month. So my goal could be to sell something this month. Just one little goal. Sell something this month. Let's get the ball rolling. And then go from there. What's my goal for February? I need to get some parties booked. How am I going to do that? So some of your all's responses, again, I appreciate you responding. Promote up a level, grow my income. I love that. Grow my income each month. Make more the month after than you did the month before. Grow my team, reach more people, get more bookings, get more sales, have a team member join under me. I remember that. I remember my very first team member. How exciting is that? Earn a K group. I love this one. Do a steady $400 a month. Love that idea of consistency. I want to be consistent in my business. Stay focused. Pay off our credit cards. Girls, I know people who have paid off tens of thousands of debt with their 31 business. Student loans, credit cards, everything, all because of 31. All right? You can do it. You can do it. Book at least one party a month. Promote to senior director. Stay active all year. Love that. Stay active. Be consistent. Don't flip-flop around. Grow my team. Get some recruits. Promote to director. Get more PICAs. I could go on and on. I love, love, love your all's responses. And that's where we've got to start. And then what you've got to do is figure out how to do it. So let's say, now I've gone over by 6 minutes, so I'm going to be ending this here in just a minute, but let's say that my goal is to get more team members. That's my favorite thing. I love that. I have a passion for that. I didn't know how to do that. Okay, maybe that's where you are. You're thinking, I don't know how to do it. Well, I'm just going to tell you, I didn't know how to do that either in 2009. And this year, for the third time in a row, I was recognized as one of the top 31 consultants in our entire company for doing that. Okay? Didn't know how to do it. Top in the company now. That's a big jump. But I'm telling you that because I want you to know that it's possible if you're willing to put in the work to do it. So I just went out and learned. Okay, thankfully, you all have great resources. The leaders on our team are fantastic. Okay, we have phenomenal leaders who are there to support you. It's their job. Maybe they are what you want to be. They did it. How'd you do it? I need to know how you did it. Have you asked her? Have you reached out to your leader and asked her, how do you do it? Work with me. I want to know how to do it. We aren't mind readers. I hope we kind of know, but if you're not getting what you need or whatever, ask, because I know that they're going to be ready to help you. Look outside of 31. Look outside. You know, Google how to sponsor in direct sales. You're going to get a ton of ideas. Look on TOT. Have you even been to TOT under Learn and Share, I think? Learn and Share. Lots of videos there, including some from yours truly. Go look. You have to, it's a choice that I'm making. I can either say I don't know how to do it and stay over here, I don't know how to do it, or I can take action and figure out how to do it. Okay? I believe in you, and I know you don't have to know anything coming into this business. Okay? You don't. You can learn how to do it. You just have to make the right choices. And every time you make a choice, well, I really want to go to the park with the kids today for the whole day. I really want to do that, but maybe I'll just spend an hour on my business. Yeah, I'm going to spend an hour on my business this morning, then I'm going to go to the park. It's a good choice, right? It's a good choice. I could say, no, I'm just going to go to the park for the whole day, or I could spend an hour on my business and then go to the park. Okay? So it's going to be up to you. Figure out what your vision is, figure out why you're a 31 consultant, and then set some goals. So the next training series, not a series, the next training call I'm going to do is going to be on goal setting, because that's the next step. Okay, that's the next step. So we're going to do that. What I want you to do is write down this phone number. This is a very important phone number. Everybody needs to write this down. 502-230-3131. 502-230-3131. And if you want to be entered to win tonight, I'm going to give away 3 things. If you want to be entered to win, you just need to text the words Vision Call, only those words, no exclamation points, no periods, nothing. Vision space call. Text it to 230-3131 tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the drawings, and I'll announce them in the winner's circle. Got a fancy little wheel I'll spin and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So what I want to do now is see what questions that you have. Okay. I see you all texting in. I want to answer your question. So I can't have you unmute. Okay. So please don't unmute. It makes it way too loud. So what I'm going to ask you to do is use the chat box. There's a chat box where you can type in your husband. Okay, I'm looking and I'm seeing some of the stuff you all said. So I see Melanie says, I would love to make enough to help support my husband. Me too. My husband makes a good living, but he loves the money I bring in from 31 and he loves to travel. So that's good. Okay. Anybody have a question? You can ask me this is what I say at my parties. You can ask me anything you want to. Nothing's too personal. How about that? Nothing's too personal. Ask me a question. Type it in that chat box. You can type it in to me. You can choose that drop-down box and say, send it to everybody. Just send it to Lynn, the host. You get to decide, and I will read the questions. I see you all. My watch is going off. Y'all are texting away at me, which I appreciate. Y'all are going to be all entered to win. What questions do you all have about creating a vision? Your why? How I did it? What's my favorite thing about being a 31 consultant? You can ask me anything you want to. Nothing's too personal. How many is in my Generation Zero? Okay, I can tell that may be a leader question. How many is in my Generation Zero? I think as of today, there's 91 in my Generation Zero. So our lineage has 790, I think. So 91 of those are my personal team. I'm their mama, and I love it. Okay, Dana says, I want to promote. I need tips. Okay, Dana, you need to get with your leader. You need to tell her you want some tips. I'm going to be talking about goal setting in a few weeks. Kara says, I need help to promote. You can promote. Get with your leader. She can help you with that. If you have some general questions, we can talk on the Winner Circle group. What's some easy tips for booking parties? Okay, this is a great question. What's some easy tips for booking parties? Ask, ask, ask. Ask everybody. Okay? Now, I know that sounds silly. Lynn, are you kidding me? I've been asking people. I hope that's what you're going to tell me when I say that. You need to keep asking, and you need to not keep asking the same people. Okay? We've got to keep asking, and we can't keep asking the same people. One party can change everything. Okay? If you are needing bookings, I've lost who that was. Y'all are really asking me some questions, which I am loving. It was Candace. Candace, one party. You can do it. One party. Go look on TOT under Learn and Party. It's under there. Ask your leader. Okay? Ask your leader. She'll help. Let's start some conversations in the Winner Circle. I would love to be able to respond there to these more detailed things. She and I talk regulars, what Dana says. Perfect. Very good. Antoinette says, how do you overcome your fear of asking? Oh, isn't that the truth? How do you get over that? And I'm going to tell you, I might not seem like it, but I'm a really big scaredy cat. Okay? I am. I'm a really big scaredy cat. I hate booking parties. I hate asking. Okay? The way you get over it is what you want, the drive of your why, of my vision, gets me there. It's more painful not to do it and lose that than to do it. So you just force yourself. I will tell you on TOT under Learn and Share, there's some videos from me, and one of them is about fear. Okay, so one of them is about fear, but the overcoming fear, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Okay, you've got to keep doing it. Don't give up on yourself. Okay, that's a big thing. Do not give up on yourself. keep asking. Okay, and think about if it's not working, think about how you're asking. What words are you saying? Okay, how am I doing it? Because you can tweak that. I will give you my mentor, the person who taught me everything I know. Okay, I think your leader can help you too, because we all have lots of these resources that you won't have to pay. But her name is Shari Hudspeth, ShariHudspeth. She has a company you can Google, Average to Excellence. It's all together.com. Average to Excellence.com. That's where I learned everything. Okay, that was 10 years ago. It's all still true today. Okay, so just go there and check her out too. But you just gotta push yourself to do it. I wish there was an easy answer, but there's not. Okay, I would really like tips on getting parties. Okay, we can talk about booking another time. It seems like that's a big thing. How far ahead should we set goals? Oh, this is a great question, Beth. Love this question. 3 months, 6 months, or just big goals? All of those. All of those. I love this question. Thank you for asking it. Because I think we can look so far, like, I'm just going to say, I want to make the big bucks. Let me get there. Okay, that's too far out. Like, I can't go there yet. What little steps am I going to do? So I do like the idea of the 3-month goal. And with our catalog now, we can work with that. We can do March, April, May. Those are the 3 months for the new spring guide. What's your March, April, and May goal? Let's set those. And dream big, guys, okay? If your goal is to promote, I do not want to hear it's going to take you a year to do. It does not take you a year to promote. I'll give you 6 months, okay? 6 months to promote with focus and intentionality and making the right choices. Okay, so thank you, Beth. I like all of those. I like a vision board. Have you ever created a vision board for big goals? Like, I still have a big goal. One of my big goals, and Donnie knows this, he's not so keen on it, but one of my big goals is I want to have a Winnebago. I want to have a fifth wheel, and I want to be able to drive around the country. Now, he drives for a living, so that's not his favorite thing, but that's one of my big dreams. It's on my vision board because I want a Winnebago, okay? So have big goals like that. I like the idea of a big goal. Maybe it's a house. Maybe you want to build a dream house for yourself, or maybe it's a vacation like I was able to take my family on. Have that in front of you, okay? But we've got to do the little steps to get there, okay? Little steps to get there. All right. Oh, don't worry about asking the same question. It's okay. I need good wording to use in a Facebook party to encourage people to host or become a consultant. TOT has some good wording on the Facebook party script. Again, that's a good one to take to the group. Our winner circle group, I'm going to tell you, we have experts in all of this in that winner circle group. So if you take your question there, they'll chime in. I'll chime in there too. Okay, it's just a lot to talk about when I'm already over my time limit. LaDonna says, I love 31 and I'm gradually getting more sales monthly. I love that. Beat yourself, right? Don't compare yourself to me or some of our huge sellers. Beat yourself. What did I do last month? Okay, I'm going to beat that this month. And then you know what, guys? Every choice you make is working towards that goal of getting higher sales the next month. Make those calls. Make a list. Call people. Send Facebook messages. Send texts. Do an event. Whatever. Okay? Jenny Jones says, I never want to feel like I'm that consultant at a party. How do you talk to a guest without... Okay, Jenny, this could be a whole nother call because I'm going to tell you, remember when I told you I was a consultant for a year before I promoted? One of the main things I couldn't do as a consultant was book parties. Okay? That's like a big thing, isn't it? And the reason is I didn't want to ask people. I didn't want to be that person either because sometimes I'm a little too genuine. I'm a little too out there. You people who know me know I'm going to say whatever I think, and it just comes out. So I don't, I've got to be really careful with that. So I didn't want to be that person, and so I found the dice game. Have you ever heard of the dice game? I play a game to get bookings at my parties. And that's the way I love to get bookings. Like I already told you, calling people and asking is not what I want to do. I do not want to do that. The dice game saved me. Just search that in our Facebook group, Winner Circle Facebook group, search dice game. You're going to find a lot of tips there, because I don't want you to be that person either. Okay, and I think part of that, we need to take away the, I want to say guilt or whatever from ourselves, because when somebody hosts a party for me, they're not doing me a favor. Okay, so if you think that, you got to change your thinking. That's stinking thinking. Okay, that's stinking thinking. We need to change the way we're thinking, because when they book a party, they're getting free stuff. They're having fun with their friends. Okay, so we have to think that. If I don't think that and I talk to you about booking a party, I might come across as if I think you're doing me a favor and all of that stuff. So we don't want that. So you can do that. It takes some practice. The dice game was the answer for me. Eva says, I'd like to get into the K group. I think you will. LaDonna says, I'd love to get in the K group. Yes, K groups are the first goal. I'd love that as a goal. Get in the half K group. Then bump up to the 1K group. Then bump up. If your goal is to bump up, okay? You don't have to keep bumping up. But if you want to grow your income, you do. Okay, you have to. 1K is if you're interested in making some money, you got to do 1K. Okay, $1,000 a month is our goal. $2,000 a month in sales is my goal. Every single month. I don't always hit it. I don't always hit it. It's okay. The world doesn't end. I used to think it would, but it doesn't. But we'll talk about that when we talk about goal setting. Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate you all being on this call with me tonight. I hope you have found it beneficial. We will take the conversation to the Winner Circle group. We do not use that group enough. I would love to see you all participating in that group. I will be there as well. But ask your leader too, and look outside. Look outside for resources. Learn. Read books. Okay. I was telling somebody one of my favorite books, and I took it over there. It's over. Let's see it. It's over there on my desk. I don't know if you can tell. There's a pile. There's a bunch of books over there, but there's a pile. Build It Big. Build It Big is a good one. Here's another one. Party Plan Success. Mary Christensen has Be a Recruiting Superstar. I just bought a book on storytelling, okay, at conference by the conference speaker. So read some books. I know these days not everybody reads books, but I still read books. Look online. Use your resources. Okay. Okay, guys. Here we are. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm still talking. So I appreciate you all hanging with me. Tomorrow, I'm going to announce the 3 winners. 3 winners. I will draw your name. And what's the name of the storytelling book? Her name is Kendra Hall. I bought it on Amazon. I'm not sure of the name. It has direct sales in it. Kindra. Kendra Hall. She's speaking at conference. I bought her book on storytelling. Okay. What are we to text in? Vision Call. Vision Call. 2 words. Nothing else. No exclamation points. No periods. No nothing. Vision Call. And it should ask you to put your name in and everything if you're not already in there. If I text you, you're already in there. Okay, so some of you asked to get a reminder. If that happened, you won't ask again. But anyway, okay, guys, thank you. This fills my cup up. I hope you all loved it as much as I did. Okay, so you all have a good night. I'll see you all on Facebook. Bye.